Dear students, welcome to Itihasa Deepika YouTube channel. In this video, I am explaining about questions and answers of chapter number 10.3, that is the Second World War from 1939 to 1945. Dear students, if you are visiting to this channel first time, please subscribe this channel and click the bell button for get new notifications. Part 1. Answer in a word or one sentence. 1 mark questions. Why did USA join the Second World War? According to textbooks, question number 15. Why did USA join the Second World War? Japan attacked the naval base of USA at Pearl Harbor. Therefore, USA joined the Second World War. So the answer is Japanese attack on naval base of USA in Pearl Harbor. 16th. Who ordered American Air Force to drop atom bombs on Japan? Who ordered American Air Force to drop atom bombs on Japan? President Harry S. Truman. American President Harry S. Truman ordered to drop atom bombs on Japan. Question number 17. When was Israel created for the Jews? When was Israel created for the Jews? In 1948, Israel was created. In 1948, Israel created for the Jews. Part 2. Answer in 2 words or 2 sentences. 2 marks questions, so write in 2 words or 2 sentences. Question number 7. Name the 2 rival powers of the Second World War. Axis powers and Allied powers. Axis powers and Allied powers are the 2 rival powers of the Second World War. So the answer is Axis powers and Allied powers. Then question number 8. Name the Axis powers. Name the Axis powers. Germany, Italy, Japan. Germany, Italy and Japan are the members of the Axis powers. Question number 9. Name the Allied powers. Name the Allied powers. England, France, USSR and USA. England, France, USSR and USA. Question number 10. Name the cities of Japan where the atom bombs were dropped during the Second World War. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the 2 Japanese cities where the atom bombs were dropped during the Second World War. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Then part 3. Answer in 15 to 20 sentences. So 5 marks question. Therefore, write in 15 to 20 sentences. Question number 5. State the results of the Second World War. Results of the Second World War. Introduction. The Second World War lasted for 6 years from 1939 to 1945. This war was more disastrous than the First World War. For the first time in human history, atom bombs were used. So, the Second World War was taken place between 1939 to 1945. Following are the important results of the Second World War. First one. The Second World War was the most destructive of all the wars fought until then. about 25 million people were killed and 50 million were disabled. Around 2.5 crore people were killed and around 5 crore people were disabled. Second one, the World War II ended the dictatorships in Italy and Germany along with Japan. Japan was occupied by the Allied powers by USA and others. Third one, European domination of the world ended after this war. The European domination of the world ended after this war. After the Second World War, USA and USSR emerged as two superpowers. USA and USSR emerged as two superpowers. Fourth, the distrust between USA and USSR. The distrust between USA and USSR increased after the war. This led to what is known as the Cold War. Fifth one, the war resulted in the victory of the principle of nationalism. The colonial empires of Europe in Asia, Africa, and Latin America came to an end. India, Ceylon, Indonesia, and other countries became independent. Around 40 countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America got independence. Sixth one, after the war, with the help of USA, a new homeland called Israel was created for Jews in 1948. A new country called Israel was created for the Jews in 1948. Seventh one, Japan experienced disastrous effects of atomic weapons. Due to the atomic weapons, Japan experienced disastrous effects. Eighth one, the most important result of the World War II was the birth of United Nations Organization. UNO was established after the Second World War. In this way, it is considered as the most important result of the Second World War. Then part 4, answer in 30 to 40 sentences. So 10 marks question, therefore write in 30 to 40 sentences. Question number 2, according to your textbook, question number 2, explain the causes and results of the Second World War. Causes and results of the Second World War. Introduction. The Second World War lasted for 6 years from 1939 to 1945. It was fought between the Axis powers and Allied powers. This war was more disastrous than the First World War. For the first time in human history, atom bombs were used. The war ended with the crushing defeat of the Axis powers. Let us see the causes and results. Following are the important causes of the Second World War. The first one, Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles. It was too severe and humiliated the Germans. The Treaty of Versailles was too severe and humiliated the Germans. The entire responsibility for the losses of the First World War was put on Germany. The treaty itself was based on revenge. The post-war economic difficulties caused much discontent. The post-war economic difficulties caused much discontent. Thus, the seeds of the Second World War were sown by the Versailles Treaty. So versatility is considered as one of the important causes for the outbreak of Second World War. Second one, expansionist policy of Japan and Italy. The expansionary policies of Japan and Italy. Japan and Italy were not satisfied with the peace settlement of Paris. They did not receive the proper share of the war spoils. So, with a view to solve their economic problems, they turned to the policy of aggression and expansion. So, the Japan and Italy were not satisfied with the peace treaty of Paris. Therefore, they followed the policy of aggression and expansion. Japan separated from Allied powers and joined Germany. Its slogan was Asia for Asians. Third one, rise of dictators. The rise of dictatorships in Italy under Benito Mussolini, Germany under Adolf Hitler, and Japan under the government of Tojo was another cause for the war. So the dictatorship in Italy under Benito Mussolini, Germany under Adolf Hitler, and Japan under the government of Tojo was another cause for the war. They glorified the war. Later, Italy, Germany, and Japan formed an alliance called the Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis in 1937. Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis. Then a totalitarian dictatorship under Joseph Stalin was established in USSR. It was also similar to Hitler's dictatorships. So Stalin's rule is also considered as dictatorial rule. Fourth one, colonial and commercial rivalry. Colonial and commercial rivalry. Another cause for the war was the colonial and commercial rivalry. It was a struggle for raw materials, markets for their products, and colonies for excess population. The Great Depression also affected the economies of these countries. Non-availability of raw materials and the absence of markets for manufactured goods created a feeling of economic suffocation. So the colonial and commercial rivalry is also another important cause for the Second World War. It means the European colonial empires tried to control the new colonies in Africa. That led to Second World War. Fifth one, failure of the League of Nations. Failure of the League of Nations. The League of Nations became too weak and incompetent. The League did not have its own army. It was dominated by few countries like England and France. USA remained out of the League. USA remained out of the League. As a result, the League totally failed in preserving peace in Europe. When hostility was growing between the two groups, the League remained silent. When the hostility taken place between two groups, the League remained silent. Taking advantage of this, Japan invaded Manchuria in China. Japan invaded Manchuria in China. Italy invaded Abyssinia in Africa. Italy invaded Abyssinia in Africa. And Germany invaded Rhineland. Of course, the Rhineland originally belongs to Germany. It was captured by French during Versailles Treaty. So Germany invaded Rhineland and Austria. Then sixth one, rearmament. Rearmament. The peace settlement of 1919 had completely disarmed Germany. The peace settlement of 1919, that is the Paris Peace Conference of 1919, had completely disarmed Germany. But Hitler asserted rearmament was the only road to power and national achievement. Rearmament was the only road to power and national achievement according to Hitler. He enormously increased the military strength with all kinds of modern weapons, battleships, aeroplanes, and submarines. Rearmament by Italy, Japan, and others ultimately led to the Second World War. Seventh one, immediate cause. In 1939, Hitler invaded Poland, which became the immediate cause for the Second World War. Hitler's invasion of Poland is considered as the immediate cause for the Second World War. Poland was an ally of England and France. Hence, Britain and France supported Poland and declared war against Germany. Results. The Second World War was the most destructive of all the wars fought until then. The Second World War was one of the most destructive of all the wars fought until then. About 25 million people were killed and 50 million were disabled. Second one, the World War II ended the dictatorships in Italy and Germany. Japan was also occupied by Allied powers under the leadership of USA. So in this way, dictatorship ends in Italy, Germany, and Japan. Third one, European dominations of the world ended after this war. After the Second World War, USA and USSR emerged as two superpowers. Fourth one, the distrust between USA and USSR increased after the war. This led to the Cold War. The distrust between USA and USSR increased, therefore, beginning of Cold War. We see beginning of Cold War after the Second World War. Fifth one, the World War resulted in the victory of the principle of nationalism. The colonial empires of European powers in Asia, Africa, and Latin America came to an end. We see more than 40 countries of Africa, Asia got independence. Sixth one, after the war, a new homeland called Israel was created for Jews in 1948. A new country called Israel was created for Jews in 1948. Seventh, Japan experienced disastrous effects of atomic weapons. Due to the atomic bomb attack, Japan experienced disastrous effects of atomic weapons. Eighth one, the most important result of the World War II was the birth of United Nations organizations. UNO was formed. Conclusion. In this way, the war ended with the crushing defeat of the Axis powers in 1945. The Second World War was ended in 1945. After the war, to prevent a third world war and to maintain international peace and security, UNO was formed. Dear students, here I stop my explanations on questions and answers of chapter number 10.3, that is the Second World War. If this video is useful to you, don't forget to share with your friends. Thank you all.